Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, like I always say, welcome to the channel. Today is Friday, February 16th, 2024. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all had a great week and are excited for the weekend. In today's video, I want to keep with the theme of Retinitis Pigmentosa Awareness Month, and I'd like to discuss a way that having retinitis pigmentosa has influenced my life, and in particular, how it's influenced my goals in some of my goals in life. And without too much delay, I'm going to jump right into it, and I hope you all enjoy it. So, my goal, I've discussed my goals here on the channel and on my social medias to various extents, um, and have discussed how those goals are related to having retinitis pigmentosa and how these goals are a direct response to having retinitis pigmentosa. So in this video, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into sort of the back end of things and not so much discuss what my specific goals are and the methods by which I'm moving towards achieving those goals, but more so like what the goals are more from a more strategic angle. So, like I said, I'm going to jump into it and discuss how those goals have evolved over the years, and I hope you enjoy it. So, the first big goal that I had established when with regards to retinitis pigmentosa and my career was in about we could probably say 2017, like spring, like April, May of 2017, but really in a serious way in about February of 2018, so about 6 years ago this month. And I decided to, I was working at the PA Career Link at the time for the Private Industry Council as a career counselor. And I had an opportunity, long story short, I had an opportunity um, to work with and for a startup as a partner with a friend of mine. And the reason that and I'm not going to go into how that opportunity came up because it's kind of irrelevant, but I decided to pursue that part time on top of my full time job at the Career Link because over I wanted to eventually position myself financially so that if a cure or a treatment for retinitis pigmentosa became available, I could afford that treatment or cure, assuming, in case it wasn't covered by health insurance, I could pay for that treatment or cure without having to financially devastate myself or make an unfortunate decision where it's like you can either write this big check to pay for this treatment or cure, or you can, um, but if you do that, you can't do much of anything else financially because it'll basically wipe you out. And I didn't want to be in that situation. So my decision to become more entrepreneurial and help try to build that startup uh, looked like a good vehicle to get me there. So that was the goal, starting in about 2017, 2018. That goal shifted. I don't know exactly when, but I want to say it shifted somewhere in 2022, maybe early 2023. It's unclear, but around that time, within the year 2022 or the year very early 2023, my goal shifted from that first goal of being able to afford a treatment or a cure to, instead of positioning myself to do that, why don't I just pursue opportunities that will make me so financially successful that it makes losing my sight completely irrelevant. I'll be able to support myself financially forever, and hire assistance, hire help to make losing my sight irrelevant. So I basically took out the problem of just affording a cure or a treatment and just said, well, why don't I just make going blind irrelevant? And that became the goal in 2022 or 2023. Like I said, I can't remember exactly when it was, but it was around that time frame. The problem with those two goals are that the target was undefined, and the targets were money oriented and the targets were undefined because I didn't know how much financial success was going to be enough financial success to satisfy those goals. I don't know how much a treatment or a cure is going to cost if it's not covered by insurance, and I don't know how much wealth is enough wealth to offset the the to offset going blind to a reasonable degree. So that was the first problem with those two goals. The second problem with those two goals is that achieving those goals, if you hear some background noise, my dad's on the phone in the other room. So um, I apologize for that. But the second problem with those two goals is that they were largely a big um, attribute of those goals is that I wanted to accomplish those goals before I lost my usable vision. And that's an undefined time horizon because we don't know how much longer I'm going to have usable vision. And having usable vision would increase my chances of obtaining those goals from a financial standpoint. So, more recently, those goals seem to be way more, they didn't make a lot of sense to me because the major aspects of those goals were, like I said, very undefined, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me to aim so high and not really know how high I was aiming while racing against a clock where I have no idea how much time is left on the timer. So more recently, I would say within the last few months, leading up into 2024, my goal shifted again very significantly, and my goal is no longer financial in nature because that just wasn't working for me, and I just it the dynamic of those goals just wasn't conducive to my too much tangible success at all, let alone long term success to the degree that I wanted it to be. So my goal shifted once again to pursuing an opportunity or continuing an opportunity with like I am with Renvio with Ignite Recruitment. It's still the vehicle to get me where I want to go, but my goal has shifted a little bit. My goal is to build a mechanism for myself where I can maintain it either myself or with help, regardless of whether or not I have usable vision. Now, that's a very different goal because it's far more strategic in nature. It has it has nothing to do with really a defined financial goal or a defined time goal, but it's just a in my life I want to establish a mechanism for myself to be financially successful, financially free, that can be maintained and grown by myself or with the help of others, regardless of whether or not I have usable vision. So I basically cut out all the sort of undefined stuff and made the goal far more strategic and far more, I hate to use the word mature because I think everything that I've discussed has been the result of very mature thoughts and decisions being made. But in the scope of these three goals that I've talked about, definitely this is the most mature, strategic, forward thinking, long term, long game goal. And I think it's more conducive to my overall situation. It's more conducive to my personality. It's just way more in line with me as a person, as a human being, and in line with what I am able to do and most comfortable doing and what I will need to do and enjoy doing to get me to that position in life. So that's really how retinitis pigmentosa has inspired my career goals, my financial goals. Um, Frankly, having those first two goals really burned me out because having undefined goals basically on all fronts definitely, in my experience and in my opinion, is a recipe for disaster because you don't have any, you have targets, but they just aren't, you just don't know what the targets are. And it's really difficult to hit a target when you don't know what the target is and you don't know how much time you have left to hit the target in a reasonable level of effort or time. So that's a big way that retinitis pigmentosa has influenced my career goals and my financial goals. And this definitely helps me because it increases the time horizon for for me to build what I'm trying to build and allows me um, to take different types of action to get there. Like I said, everything that I'm doing right now is the right vehicle, the right method. I just needed a mindset shift because, like I said, the way I was doing things, the reasons why I was doing things just were not matching up and weren't allowing me to perform, I think, in ways that I could be performing and to stay as disciplined as I could be because everything was just so uncertain in nature in my own mind. So, um, yeah, so that's the main thing I really wanted to talk about because I talk about goals a lot on this channel and on my social media accounts. Another thing that has been heavily influenced by retinitis pigmentosa um, is how I approach dating. And it's funny that I talk about this now because my friend Lance Johnson, who hosts the See Through podcast, just invited another one of my friends, Stephanie Renberg, who has Stargard's disease. Lance has RP, retinitis pigmentosa, and Stephanie has Stargard's. And I'm going to be watching that podcast later today where they talk about dating with a visual impairment. So it's funny that I'm talking about this today when that just came out this week. But um, the way that I've chosen to approach dating has been heavily influenced because I haven't really in my entire, and this predates my entrepreneurial ventures. This goes back 10 years. I um, sort of made a commitment when I graduated from college that I would not pursue dating really much at all because I didn't feel comfortable approaching a potential partner or expressing interest in a potential partner before I had done more to figure out losing my sight and getting ahead of that in all the ways that I could control getting ahead of it, financially, career wise, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, all those ways. I wanted to be very comfortable in where I stood with my relationship with myself as it relates to retinitis pigmentosa and that the current challenges and barriers associated with it, as well as comfortable with the dealing with the and preparing for the long-term barriers and challenges associated with it. So I've been single my entire adult life, and I'm not ashamed of it because I know exactly why. I know why that is, and a lot of it has been intentional on my part, and at times not so intentional on my part, but that's another story for another day. But really, it's been my goal to prioritize getting ahead of this condition as much as I can before um, pursuing a relationship because I want to be able to be all that I can be. I want everything that I can control to be in my control sort of on an optimal way before I pursue a relationship with somebody else because that will create a situation that is more fair both to me and to my potential partner. So um, yeah, that's another big influence that retinitis pigmentosa has had on my life. So that's really all I wanted to talk about today. I'm very happy about where things are going, especially considering I have a new perspective on my goals and what I want for myself. Definitely more strategic, definitely more in line with my personality and my being in general. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope that you're all doing well. I hope you all have a great weekend. And I will see you all probably next week in another Retinitis Pigmentosa Awareness Month themed video. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.